American shad were once known to mark the beginning of spring. Historically, when populations were abundant and prosperous, people would line the riverbanks knowing that the beginning of spring was here when they saw large populations of shad running upriver.
Turn of the 1900s, big industry was actually shad fishing. Where we're fishing now, there were actually 5 fisheries just in this part of the Delaware. And most of the towns up and down the river had that same situation where there would be multiple fisheries.
I'm Michelle de Blasio. I'm the Pollen Scale Restoration Coordinator for the Nature Conservancy. I work throughout the Pollen Scale watershed in Northwest New Jersey.
So my name is Steve Meserve. I'm 4th generation shad fisherman here on the Delaware River. My family's been fishing this same spot of land since 1888 continuously.
American shad is a large silver-colored herring that can grow up to 8 pounds and live for up to 10 years. It's a migratory fish species, meaning that it lives most of its life into the ocean and then returns to upstream smaller tributaries like the Pollen Scale to spawn.
In the springtime, as they're coming up the east coast, they'll sense when they get to their native river and swim up it to spawn. The adults will immediately go back downstream. The juveniles will spend the summer in the river, and in the late summer, early fall, they'll migrate out to the ocean where they'll spend 3 to 5 years also maturing, growing, and becoming ready to spawn for the first time.
Shad migration is a huge undertaking. Once they leave the ocean and start swimming upstream, the adult shad won't eat again until they return back to the ocean. All along the way, shad are an important seasonal food source for predatory fish, as well as large birds and mammals. Despite the difficult migration, shad once flourished all along the East Coast.
There were 2 years in the 50s my great-grandfather never caught a shad. You started to see the numbers come back in the 60s, more so in the 70s. What we're seeing now, though, it's not nearly to the numbers it was in the 80s.
The shad population has been widely unstable throughout the 20th century, due in large part to the construction of dams on smaller tributary streams. Without access to breeding grounds upstream, it's harder for fish to mitigate other environmental hazards like pollution.
Anytime you have a dam, there will be a fish species that swims right up to it wanting to go further and can't.
The Columbia Dam stands 18 feet tall and is about a quarter mile up the Pollen Scale from the Delaware. Aside from being an impassable barrier to fish, it compromises the water quality and is a recreational hazard. The dam is obsolete, outdated, dangerous, and currently in need of many upgrades and repairs.
Again, there were reasons to build them in the day, but there were consequences. And now you have to make the decision, are the consequences worth what you're getting as a benefit?
The shad swim up the Pollen Scale, reach the dam, bump their noses, and have no choice but to turn around and go back out to the Delaware. For this and many other reasons, the Columbia Dam needs to come down, and the Nature Conservancy is seeing this process through.
Whenever you take a dam down that frees up a tributary, that's a win for shad.
Once the dam is down, fish and wildlife will enjoy better water quality. Great stretches of the Pollen Scale will be open for recreation directly to the Delaware. And for the first time in over a century, the lower Pollen Scale will be open to American shad as well as other migratory fish species.